Hello, we'll be starting a series on decimals, which will cover adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. In this lesson, we're going to focus on adding decimals. So let's start with a simple example. What is 3.5 plus 2.4? What we need to do is line them up. We can write it like this. First point to note is to make sure that the decimal points are always lined up when you arrange them. So we're going to start with the column on the right and add 5 plus 4, which will give 9. And then bring down the decimal point here. Next is to add 3 plus 2, which will give 5. Therefore, 3.5 plus 2.4 is 5.9. Let's go a step higher. Example 2 is 4.56 plus 3.82. So first, let's stack them together. And then let's add 6 plus 2, which is 8. And then we have 5 plus 8, that's 13. Now what we need to do here is to write the 3 and then carry over the 1. So in the last column, we have 1 plus 4, which is 5. And 5 plus 3 is 8. So the final answer is 8.38. Adding decimal numbers is not too difficult. Let's go a step higher. If you're given 7.34 plus 5.9, how will you solve it? Here we have a number that ends in the hundreds place, and this one ends in the tenths place. Next is to stack them like this, 7.34, and the next one is 5.9. Remember to arrange the decimal points as you line them up. Now, we don't have a number here, so we can put a 0. 5.9 is the same as 5.90. So let's add the first column. 4 plus 0 is 4. And then for the second column, 3 plus 9, that's 12. And now we need to carry over the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 5, that's 13. So the answer is 13.24. Going a step higher, let's go ahead and add 14.7 plus 3.685. So let's go ahead and add up the two numbers, but we'll need to line it up properly. So if you want to, you can add 2 zeros here. And so in the first column, we have 0 plus 5, which is 5. And then we have 0 plus 8, which is just 8. And for the third column, we have 7 plus 6, so that's 13. So let's write the 3 and then carry over the 1 to the column in the left. And then 1 plus 4 plus 3, that's going to be 8. And for the last one, we could just bring it down. Or if you write a 0 here, 1 plus 0 is 1. So the final answer is 18.385. Moving on to a higher example. Let's add 3 numbers this time. 3.82 plus 13.6 and 5.431. So the important thing to keep in mind is to make sure that the decimal points are lined up as always. If you focus on that, everything else will be fine. Now let's add some zeros here and 2 zeros here, just to make sure everything looks nice. Now in the first column, we have 0 plus 0 plus 1. And so that's going to be 1. And then for the second column, it's just 2 plus 3, which will give us 5. Now if we move on to the third column, 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. So we're going to write the 8, carry over the 1. Now we have 1 plus 3, which is 4. And then 4 plus 3 is 7. And then 7 plus 5, that's going to give us 12. So let's write 2, carry over the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And so the final answer for this example is 22.851. Now, for the last example, we're going to treat something a little harder than the other ones. Let's add 4.73 plus 12.651 plus 138.5 plus 0.9368. Let's begin by lining up the numbers. And then the last one is 0.9368. At this point, I'll just fill in the other spaces with zeros to the right. So for the first column, all we have is an 8. And for the second column, we can add the 6 and the 1. So that's going to give us 7. And then for the third column, 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11. So let's write 1 and carry over the other one. So now let's add these numbers. So we have 1 plus 7, which is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 5, that's 19. And then 19 plus 9 is 28. So let's write 8 and then carry over the 2. So now we have 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. And then 1 plus 1 plus 3, that's going to be 5. And then we can bring down the last one, which is 1. And so the answer for this example is 156.817. Now you know how to add decimal numbers. Watch out for the second series on subtraction. See you in the next one.